What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Craving Wild podcast episode. We are on episode 67 with John Prokop. We've been trying to get John on for like a year now, and we've had him on once, had technical difficulties, was not able to get that episode out, and we apologized to him for that for like 6 months. We finally got him on, and nothing went bad yet. I haven't posted this yet. I'm recording the intro, so who knows? But we're 95% of the way there. If you are into shed hunting, this is going to be the podcast for you. John lives in like central PA, we'll just call it, where the elk are, and he finds absolutely giant sheds and this year's been a hell of a year for him. He's been damn near, it seems like every time he goes out, he's picking up sheds here recently. Don't get me wrong, he's been putting in the work. I was out there like 2 weeks ago looking for sheds, and he said that he was on like day 32, 33, something like that, straight of being in the woods looking for these sheds. You know, before, not all day, every day, but, hour before work, hour after work, whatever, just kind of plugging it in, looking for these elk, because obviously they move a lot more than whitetail do. So being able to stay on top of them and kind of know that territory, if you guys have been out there, it's massive for the listeners. That it's so much public land. I should say just so much land, and there's really not hardly any ag other than what the game commission has planted, like food plots for the elk and for the deer. But obviously those get pounded right away for sheds. So John's just an absolute wealth of knowledge when it comes, and he's a top tier shed hunter in my personal opinion. Anybody who can just put down that many sheds, especially on public land, is crazy to me. This was a great conversation with John. We look forward to having a couple more with him, especially as we get on towards whitetail season, and just kind of seeing the switch that he makes to go from elk sheds to whitetail. As far as us, there's really not. It's trout fishing, right? Trout fishing opened up for us, so we can finally hit the trout streams. Turkeys right down the road. We got right after turkey, we got trail cameras. We got mushrooms coming up. There's really a whole bunch of shit. We got a bunch of 3D shoots, a whole bunch of stuff going on. So we're going to be out doing a whole bunch of shit, as we suggest everybody does. Go out, have fun, do random shit, do fun shit. The weather's getting nice, so take advantage of it. With that being said, we will get you into episode 67. Enjoy. But yeah, man. So you had a little bit of luck again today, huh?
Yeah, we've been pulling them out pretty consistently right now. It's been a good season so far.
I say so. I will let you know, my girlfriend I don't think likes you very much, because every time we would go to a spot and there'd be no shed, she'd be like, "Oh, fucking John was here," and then we.
It makes sense.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I get around. I'm not gonna lie to you.
How many miles do you think you put on your vehicle every year just for elk sheds?
Oh, dude, that's bad. I was just talking to somebody about that the other day. I mean, you're talking probably. Oh man, I don't even know if I know the number off the top of my head. It's got to be close to, I'd say probably 30, 40 miles a day as I'm looking. So
Yeah.
definitely,
that's nuts.
4,000 or 5,000 a season, I'd say.
Jesus, you're doing a full oil change on full synthetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you put it? Do you put it on your tax deductibles?
You should.
I wish I could write that off. Elk sheds.
I mean, you're starting a whole company here with social media stuff. That shit's fucking tax deductible, in my opinion.
I'll approve it.
Well, I start making money off of it. I don't know how they're gonna view that.
Yeah. Man, yeah. I was thinking that because when we were just out there, I mean, we must have I want to say we did probably 100 miles in the truck in 3 days, just looking for elk.
I can believe that too, especially if you don't have them located and you're trying to find them. It can add up really quick then.
Because we started at Carthus. I ended up over in Quahana, and then I went up to Kettle Creek, and then we went up to Emporium or some shit like that.
Oh yeah,
he's
all the freaking mountains.
Oh yeah, dude, we were all over the place. I literally would just bring up my Onyx map and be like, all right, I've never been there before. That's where we're going. Almost ran out of gas twice.
That's not good. You don't want to end up on those back roads.
No,
You get stuck there for days, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
you
get
get into
if
like
you get stuck there.
some of those Queena areas, and it could be iffy. I mean, I wouldn't want to break down on like Jerry Run or anywhere in like
We were there.
yeah, yeah, like Hoover Road Trail and stuff. I mean, some of those roads are
Yeah.
pretty sketchy too.
Yeah,
Are you saying because it's like there's a lot of bad people there, or is it just because there's nobody there and you get stuck there for days?
so
Yeah,
far.
just nobody there. I mean, there's not a whole
That's
lot
okay.
of good service anymore anywhere, and
Yeah.
you could run into a
Yeah.
few people too. You never know.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was texting John. We were so tired. We were like, we're not going back to our campsite because it was on a map. It looks like a 15-minute ride, but ends up being an hour and a half just because the
Right.
roads are so bad, right? And
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're terrible in places.
we set up in right off of a power line, and I'm glassing, just seeing like, oh, who knows what's gonna come out. A bunch of deer came out actually, and I
Nice.
was telling John that there was 4 cell cams, I think 3 or 4 cell cams
Or
on. Yeah, there was 2 on each pole, I believe, on the power line. I'm assuming for elk.
I believe it though. I mean, people they go crazy over those elk. I mean, they want to know everything that's going on, who's in the area. So, I mean, I run a few cell cameras, but they never really seem to help me very much.
For like you said it before. There's like the service is so bad there. Like I can't believe anybody gets cell cams to work at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get like one bar, maybe two in some places, and
Hmm.
it always looks good. Like, oh, I'm gonna set this, and there's elk sign here, but it just seems like with how much they move, I get more people than elk.
I believe it. I believe it. How
I'm like
how much? Go ahead, buddy.
what's that? I'll just say, well, I'll
Um,
be like, oh, this spot looks so good, and then it'll be okay, person. Like, well, this elk are probably not even here anymore.
would you say it's more valuable to put the miles on the vehicle than it is like walking? I almost feel like you have to. Like you're just wasting
Yeah,
your time walking.
you got to locate them. So whichever avenue you're going to use to locate the elk, if you're using your vehicle to locate them, it's definitely beneficial to put more miles on the truck. But if you're obviously boots on the ground looking for them, it's going to be more beneficial that way. It just depends on your type of scouting.
Hmm. What would you say you have more luck with the vehicle moving around? Like, what are you looking for? Are you driving? Because we got lucky in the afternoon. It was like right before dark, and we just came to a green field, and it was full of elk, and we just kind of played off of
Okay.
that. But
Yeah.
for you, like,
So
what are you looking for?
I would say probably boots on the ground is more beneficial for me because this is what seems to happen in my experience. When I'm driving around in my vehicle and if I locate the elk in a visible area, there's usually more people that know about it. There's more pressure, obviously, and I have a harder time finding those shed antlers. But opposed to the ones we'll even say like this season that I found, deeper, kind of held up for the winter time and some food sources. Those are the ones I have the best luck with because they're not pressured as much and they still travel around quite a bit, but I end up finding their antlers because the other scenario it just ends up being right place at the right time and those things
Uh-huh.
they stick around for maybe a day or two and they're scooped up. So
Right, right. Yeah. How many elk sheds have you found so far this year?
I found 7 so far.
Jesus Christ. That's
7.
amazing. And it's
My
not for
brother.
lack.
That's why I don't follow you in fucking January
Thanks.
and then follow you back at fucking May, bro. Sick and tired of
Thanks,
it, John.
Antonio.
It's just love. That's all it is. Dude. I hate it, dude. I'm like, goddamn, because I unfortunately didn't make it to this trip because I had fucking family stuff. But
Oh man, that's a
how long?
bummer.
How long I've been fucking?
8 years?
Yeah, I've yet to find one.
Yeah, I was actually
Really?
texting.
Yeah, I fucking dude. I used to go there before my daughter was born, and I used to do like a lot of like wildlife photography, so I can sell prints.
Oh nice. Yeah,
And I started where everybody starts here in PA in Benicet because that's where the
for
more
sure. They're
Visible.
visible.
people friendly elk are. They're
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
people, and you
exactly.
go over there, man. But since then, I was like, God damn, I would like to get one. I would like to get one, and no, we even camped in the middle of fucking nowhere. What's it called? Jew Road.
Jew Run Road.
Jew Run Road. I don't know where you.
Yeah.
That's by Renoble, thinking that we were gonna do there, and we like, oh, let's just park here and camp, and we did that. And
Yeah, I like how we
Jack,
say we're not going to give away spots, and we literally just been name dropping since the beginning.
That's all right.
We covered a big area though.
That's all right.
And the elk moved.
There's no fucking shed there, so don't look there.
Yeah. Well, you said you didn't find any, so I don't think people are going to be running to that area.
Yeah.
Maybe we're doing reverse psychology.
Oh,
Could be,
go
yeah.
to Jew
There's
Road.
They don't know what's on the other side of this camera.
That's true. There could be a 400-inch set over there.
Yeah, there could be.
Look at this.
If you,
Woo!
Hey, I'll take that. I haven't been finding nearly the amount of whitetail this year when I'm looking for elk sheds. I've been out probably, I would say the last 5 or 6 outings, I haven't found a single whitetail shed.
no
shit.
kidding. You think it's just?
Yeah.
You think it's like your brain is now just kind of like locked on the size of an elk shed that you might be like passing up some of these smaller whiteys?
I think that's definitely a part of it. Is I'm moving faster and I'm not like gritting stuff. I'm kind of using my eyes more to look further ahead. Whitetail, I'm kind of looking closer to my feet. But I also think that this whole like warm winter and no snow, I don't think anything was really herded up. And just last week we saw 3 bucks still holding in the area, so that could play into effect too.
No kidding.
Almost
No
pretty
kidding.
nice.
Yeah, half the bulls that we saw were still holding, and 2 of them were pretty good bulls.
Yeah, there's
I was
definitely
surprised
some
that they were
still good
holding.
ones holding. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy that they're still holding to this date.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm trying to get back out there, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll have time, unfortunately. That time thing
Yeah.
sucks for all of us.
It's a tough game. I mean, if you don't know where they're at in March, I mean, even myself, if I'm in a new area, I just kind of feel like I'm playing with myself a little bit because all the sign looks old. Everything's drying out because of how sunny it's been, the last week or so, and the woods look dead.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was out there with my girlfriend. We walked the first loop like, I don't know, 6-8 miles. And I just remember going to myself like, I haven't seen an elk turd in 6 miles. Like we gotta change something up here. Like I'm gonna
Exactly.
run the tread off of my feet before I find any.
Did you tell him what you found though?
Oh yeah, did I tell you that I found a elk tooth?
The tooth.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you guys can find all these
Yeah.
big sheds. How many tooths you got?
Yeah. I can't say
Single
I actually have
tooth.
one. In a bed too.
You got the ivory?
What's that?
Did you get the ivory?
No,
No.
it's like a regular. I think it's just a regular tooth. It was just in a bed, in a spot that you would never think.
Really?
Typical how it is. Typical how it is.
That's crazy.
It's
though.
funny how it's weird how good that those and how big those animals are and how well they blend in
No, for sure.
to like just the environment. We were walking and all of a sudden like we were just 30 yards from a massive bull.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Surprised you
it was
didn't
crazy.
smell
It was
them
pretty
first.
thick there. We were actually upwind of them. As soon as we swung around and got downwind, I was like, "Holy shit!" It smells like a cattle farm,
Yeah, pasture pretty much. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Now you said the bulls are moving and stuff. How much are they moving this time of year, roughly?
I would say that obviously a lot of that is going to depend on pressure. If people are, pushing them around a little bit. I mean, if they're not seeing anybody, like a couple of the bulls that I found sheds off of, they move roughly like probably 1 to 2 miles in just a small area. But like I said, if there's any type of pressure or if there's like grass greening up, it could be way more than that. I'll give you an example too. I had a cell camera where I haven't had an elk like for the last month on it. Pretty much dead, nothing. All of a sudden, within like the last 2 days, I had probably 40 cows and a bunch of raghorns just migrate right through there. And I know for a fact they weren't anywhere within a mile or 2 of that camera prior to me setting it. So it just shows you like they kind of got up and just decided to move one day and kept going until they found better food sources.
What do you see as their like primary food source out there? Because they're more of like a grazer, right? They're not picking up. Do they
Right.
eat acorns? I'm sure they do, but
They
probably
do,
not
yeah,
like deer.
Yeah, they're definitely way more into grazing and grasses, clover, rye, stuff like that. But it kind of behave more like a whitetail when it becomes like the winter time. And I
Okay.
know that a lot of the elk that I found this year, they were feeding on acorns mostly.
No shit. Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Like to think like, okay, south side of hills when you got a spring like we had when it was pretty warm, that's probably gonna green up pretty quick. That might be a good spot to look.
Yeah. Interesting.
Right. I mean, I've seen them
Well,
in clear cut browse feeding on that, the newer growth.
mhm.
I've seen them actually digging for ferns like a whitetail does as well. I mean, they're pretty much taking advantage of whatever food they can get in the timber. So,
Interesting.
I found most of my sheds this year in the north slope of mountains instead
Really?
of south slope. Yeah, and I was
yeah,
just like, man, this
I
is
could
fucking
believe
just
that with
random.
the winter we had.
I was like, this is just so random because when I'm in the north slope, that means that I'm like done for the day. I'm just walking either to cover ground or just go back to the truck, and I'm like, bam, that's one. I'm like, God, I'm gonna have to start going over here now.
Yeah. Such
Yeah.
mania.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Make
the
up your
south
fucking mind.
It's like
the south facing
it's so,
sides are definitely a little bit better in the cold winters, harsh
And a
temperatures.
good winter,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, a winter
I
like
believe
this, it was pretty much a wild card.
right. How about that like really steep terrain? Does that affect them too much? They try to stay flat or it doesn't really matter?
Most of mine I find they're on the steep side hills. They kind of bed similar to a whitetail, how
Okay.
utilizing that top portion of the hill, utilizing the thermals, and I've noticed a lot of the elk that I follow, they like thick cover too, hemlocks, laurel, beach brush, anything they can kind of like break themselves up with.
That laurel is nasty up there. It's like
It's impenetrable
oh
in some places, but
yeah.
they get through it too, which is crazy.
That's nuts. I was like walking through it. I'm like, man, I don't think a bull would want to come through here because like it's a pain in the ass.
It'll be annoying as
It's
hell to
bad.
carry that shit around.
But I wonder if
Yeah,
they're just
some
tall
of
enough,
those
like they're
sheds,
above it, maybe.
yeah, some of those sheds will never be found. That drop off
Oh
in the
yeah,
laurel.
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Can you imagine somebody who just finally looks? Oh, look, it's a branch. It's just a fucking 30-year-old shit that's been there for fucking
Yeah, it's green as can be.
yeah. It's just mossy everywhere.
Yeah.
When you when you or I should say when we have like the bad winters, do you see the elk moving a lot, like coming down to the lower elevations and stuff, or does it not really bother them either?
I don't think it bothers them nearly as much. I mean, I would say if there's better food sources down low, they probably will adapt to that and move in the lower portion of the hill. But
Hmm.
I mean, I don't really see a whole lot in bottoms unless there's like some type of agriculture or something.
Right. So it's literally
Or
just food and protection.
thick bedding too. I mean, like I would say that okay, if the cover's up on top and the food, they're probably going to be up there bedding. But I
Hmm.
mean, if you got we'll say a clear cut in the bottom or something, and that's the only food, I don't think that would be deterrent
Right.
for them.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man. It's like the most frustrating, but yet the most fun thing. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
almost glad I don't
it's a
live out
mind
there.
game.
Right. I could.
What's
Yeah.
that?
I could. As I was just gonna say, I don't. Like. I'm almost glad I don't live out there because I would spend way too much time in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be
You're not
it'll be
hunting
too
them
much.
too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
even worse. Can you imagine hunting them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
That
you
would
could
be
be
the
putting
worst
your
thing
time
ever.
towards whitetail scouting and preparing for the fall, but here you are chasing elk antlers in the timber for 2 months.
How do you balance that? Because you're a big whitetail hunter too. Like, how do you balance that time?
Oh yeah. So usually I get most of my stuff done early, just like end of rifle season. I start my scouting, try to get a bunch of boots on the ground for that. I mean, obviously in December I still don't know exactly what survived the season, but I can start like putting my areas together, exploring new areas, and then I try to wrap up most of it by like February, and then I kind of completely transition into looking for elk, photographing them and trying to keep tabs on them because like in my experience, I have a hard time going back and forth like, "Oh, today I'll hit whitetail, tomorrow I'm going to hit elk." I can't do that. I have to like lock onto something and then just ride it out.
And yeah, yeah, I would probably be the same to be honest. When do you stop? When do you stop looking for elk sheds? End of April?
Oh, I got about 3 more weeks. Once we get to about the end of April, I'm pretty well shot from all the miles. But I mean, at that point, I've covered so much terrain to where I'm like, okay, we had a good run. It was a good season. I gave it everything that I could, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call it.
Absolutely. Do you do any turkey hunting?
I'm getting more into it. Yeah, I'm not a huge turkey hunter, but I'm starting to appreciate it a little bit more. I mean, usually
Right.
by May, I'm pretty well burnt out, just because you're talking December, January, February, whitetail, March, April, looking for elk sheds, 4 or 5, 6 days a week. So I get to May and I'm just like, dude, I just want to work a little bit of overtime. I want to get back into the gym harder and just kind of relax for a little bit.
And get yourself back to
Just go home.
normal.
Yeah.
Go home and hug
like
my
I said-
girlfriend.
Yeah. She was actually out with me today, so she's been coming out with
Good.
me quite a bit now. We're trying to get her first elk shed and haven't had a whole lot of
Awesome.
luck, but we're getting closer.
That's awesome. Hopefully she can get on one this year.
I hope so. We've got a few places left, and I mean, she was with us. We did a group hunt last weekend where my brother, his wife, and my girlfriend, and a couple other friends were with us. And Morgan found a really nice. I was basically a 7x7 matching set, which I had videos of the bull on like a wallow and stuff. My brother found his biggest 6-side to date too, but I mean she was there for it. They were there in the area and just they found the spot.
So I got a question. If you got a group of people like 6, 7, 8 people going out, and one person finds one side of the elk shed and another person finds the other side, how do you determine? Do you keep the set separated, which is a sin in my opinion, or like how do you just fight? Is it like
It's fucking.
yeah? What do you do?
Okay.
Okay,
Go and find it, the
so
fucking
usually if somebody finds the first one, the other person that finds the match, that is the first person that found it. The only time I'll
Yeah.
stretch those boundaries is if, okay, say I find the first side and then somebody new who's just getting into it, who's never found an elk shed before, finds the second side, I will give them the matching set. Just because you do have to keep the set together. It's kind of stupid to pull it apart. And then, like I said, somebody that is new to the game, they kind of have a hard time giving up something like that too, because it's like your first one ever. You
Yeah.
don't know if it's ever going to happen again. So that's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
All right. With that being said, Antonio, you owe me that other side of that shed, whitetail shed.
Fuck that shit. That shit was like 10 feet from
That's
where you found your shit.
Oh shit! Yeah, well, I found a pretty decent shed, and then Antonio found the other side. What,
Like 3 days after.
30 yards away, maybe?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
he
wow,
shed them
that's
both at the same time, and
Yeah.
you just missed.
I just
them.
walked the other way.
Yeah, you just
Just so
completely missed
fixated
it.
on that first side.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Well,
much.
and the worst part is that I saw. So the reason why this shit is so good is the G2, but the only thing that I saw was maybe, shit. I'm gonna say what, 3 inches sticking out of the ground. I'm like, I think that's a fucking shit, and I grabbed it, and that thing was just pulling and pulling. The G2, I think, is like what? The G2 is like 14 inches.
Something like that.
Oh,
Something like that. You can pull it off the wall.
Yeah, hold on. I'll
Is
show
that
it to you.
Pennsylvania shed?
Yeah,
Really? Wow.
yeah. We get into some pretty good whitetail out here.
Okay, I was gonna say the biggest I've ever picked up I think was like maybe like 11 and a quarter or something.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, that's nice.
All right,
Thing
I'll put it on my
curls in.
body. So, yeah. So that's on my body, right?
So the G3 and the the G3 and the main beam, they're all normal size. It's just the G2 is so massive,
yeah, we're talking.
Yeah, it like curls in really good.
Yeah.
and then it flattens out like a fucking cobra. You know, like how they do the neck.
Yeah.
And then the reason we know is it's literally the other side is exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah, and all I saw, I just remember, is like 3 inches sticking out. Everything was covered in leaves and ground. I was just like, oh man, I think this is shit. And I pulled it. I was like, what?
Have you ever thought about going out like anywhere else to shed hunt, like other states and stuff like that?
I have, yeah. I'm definitely in the future. Gonna try to plan to get up to Maine and look for some moose sheds one of these years.
That'd be cool.
That that's definitely bucket list. I had a couple guys reach out to me before wanting to go out, and that would be a good time. And I'd like to eventually get out west too, and maybe try to find some mule deer sheds or something along that line. Get like a matching set of everything, whitetail, muley, elk, moose, just like a trifecta. Or
That's a really cool goal. I've never really heard anybody like be like, "Oh, I want to find a complete set in like every species."
A good set too, like
Yeah.
a good.
yeah, it's
gotta
gotta
be
be
awesome.
brown.
Yeah,
Right, right. Interesting.
that's pretty
Maybe
good.
get out to New Zealand for some red stag. Probably not.
Hey, it's nice to wish, man. You gotta have goals.
You gotta have dreams, dude. You gotta have dreams.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
happy with the elk
Oh,
sheds though. Right now, they keep me
Yeah,
entertained.
I
And
will
they
be
keep me out of
too.
trouble.
yeah, that's true. And you,
I'll have
my
to.
friend, find some good ones.
I was happy. I mean, my biggest set I picked up this year, which I have bigger singles, but I never matched anything off the bull up, just because somebody else had it or it fell in a stupid location. I never found it, but I think he was like 375, 380 range, which is pretty good elk around here.
Yeah,
That's a decent.
that's
Yeah.
massive. That is
Yep.
massive.
I'll have to-
The one
I'll
bull
have
you
to-
had,
What's that?
the one bull you got like 3 years of sheds off of him, right?
Yeah, three consistent, and I have his matching set from last year, and then I have a single from the year before, and I have a bunch of trail cam videos of him, and I've seen the bull quite a bit, but I don't think I'm going to find that other side. I pretty
Yeah,
much
that sucks.
exhausted everything, so I think somebody else has it already. Unfortunately,
Yeah, it's very possible. Yeah, it's unfortunately, yeah, the pressure is definitely increased.
Yeah,
You could tell just from
I'm
when we
even feeling
started.
it myself. Yeah, you can't get away from it anymore. I mean, if you there's somebody pretty much everywhere. It seems like.
Hmm. Yeah, hopefully they're just stupid like me and they just walk and don't find anything.
Yes, I mean, because like a lot of times those elk antlers they drop in easy areas. I mean, like you can spot them from pretty far away. They're not hard to find if you're there. But there's other times where they can fall, behind a log or get shaken off in a clear cut, and they're not easy to find. So there's always hope when you're out there. It's like, well, yeah, okay, the easy ones might have been picked up, but there's usually an antler somewhere that's a little harder to find.
Right, right. Were you able to, switching it up a little bit, were you able to we had a conversation on Instagram, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but you were on a pretty big whitetail. Did you spend some time, did you get a chance to spend some time in his core area yet, or are you still kind of waiting to get in there?
I was up there in February, but I believe he was still holding because I had a picture of
Okay.
him. I think February 1st, he was holding still. And then I was up there, I think, a week after. I don't think he shed yet, but I'm going to get back up there and try to figure some more stuff out because, I mean, I think I have a shot at him at least, and he's definitely one of the top three biggest deer I've ever had on camera. So I would like to put whatever effort I can into that thing.
Dude, I can't imagine even starting the process of like building a game plan for those deer up there because it's just the land is just
Dude,
so vast.
it's huge, dude. It's huge. It's clear cuts. I mean, there's what really hurts in the area is there's no food, so it's like mostly browse. Except there's the only food's clear cut browse, and there's very little does in this buck's core area. So that almost tells me instantly he's going to be transitioning to other areas. So I'm
Right.
gonna have to map out all the doe bedding areas and get a game plan going for November.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you might lose him. Once he sheds velvet and stuff, you might lose him.
So for
Unfortunately.
a deer like that, how many miles are you walking in the morning to try to hunt them? Or is it something that you're like 3 miles in, or is it just like around the
No,
corner?
it's pretty deep. I would say it's almost close to 2 miles for sure.
No shit. So you're walking like an hour in the dark to get to the spot.
Yep.
No, that's good.
That's insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish you could
I'll be
use.
biking it
Can you?
mostly. I'll probably be using my bike
Okay.
mostly, so it's not as bad.
Okay,
It's
cool.
probably only 20 minutes on the bike.
Yeah.
Um, That was kind of my next question a little bit, is if you use bikes. Obviously you do, but e-bikes, can you use e-bikes on the state forest? I know you can't in state game lands, but can you use it in the forest?
Yeah, yeah. State forest, you got the green light for, and even any of those areas where you're looking for elk sheds. A lot of that area ends up being state forest, and they did give the green light on state forest for them, so it's free
Okay,
game.
interesting. Okay, you just gave me a reason to go get a e-bike. Thanks, John. I
Yeah,
appreciate
I
it.
do have one, but honestly, I really don't use it very often. I mean, I hunt a lot of timber company, a lot of state game lands and stuff, and I probably only used it 2 or 3 times this year, unfortunately.
Well, yeah. You can only use it if if it works for you. You
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, exactly. I'm not risking anything.
No, I'd be scared to death to like just leave it all day on the side of a
That
trail,
too,
and
yeah. That thing's getting like double locked in there. I mean, you're talking 2 grand laying by a tree out there. I mean, that's
right.
not good.
I'd be like taking a tire with me or something, taking it half apart.
You be sitting there sweating the whole entire time in your stand, like, oh, is it
Yeah,
time to go yet?
yeah. Man, I would hope that would suck if you got there and you're like your bike was gone and
Yeah.
you know you got to walk.
That's one reason why I'm so skeptical of hunting. Every year, I tell this guy, like, I want to hunt the deer in the boat, like drive the boat somewhere and then just go
Yeah.
hunting and then just bring it back on the boat. And every year, I'm like, oh,
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't know if I want to leave the boat there for
It would be
20
fun
hours.
though. It would be nice.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing. Sometimes I leave it park and I go like fish a stream, and I'm like the whole way I'm like, bro, I shouldn't fucking. Why am I doing this for a fucking trout? I'm gonna lose my boat for a fucking trout. And the whole way I'm doing that. The whole way I'm like,
You
but
need a
yeah,
tracking device on that boat.
There you go.
maybe
That's not a bad idea.
That's not bad. That's fucking great. But it would be awesome to have one that you can put it on the fucking e-bike. Or just go in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would love to. I would love to do that more. If we could here where we live.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt
Right.
here where we live. So
Absolutely. John, do you have any ins or anybody that I can talk to get me to pull a elk tag this year?
I do
yeah,
not,
come on.
unfortunately.
You know the tricks.
Hey,
If you do, you don't have to tell anybody on right now. We'll talk about this later, but I just wanted to give you a heads up.
This fucker has was it 10 points?
Yeah, this is my 11th year.
oh geez, man, you've been paying your dues out there.
Yeah, and they just don't want to. They don't want to respect it. I guess I don't know,
Oh,
but you're gonna be the first person I call when I draw because I'm gonna be like, dude, I have this
dude,
zone.
yeah.
Have you been there yet?
Let me know. I would love to help out with something like that. What zone are you looking to draw in? I mean, obviously
So
any zone, but
yeah, any zone. I mean, I don't really. What is it? 4? Is that Benazet? That's the one that everybody goes for. That I try to avoid. I think it's 13 is the one that I
that's
put in for usually.
yeah. 4 is Moore Hill, like Moore Hill, Hicks Run area. That's like Cameron County.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I'm in that like.
I think 13 because it's the closest one to us.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
so.
one, and that's where I found this shed. So we just kind of kept going there.
Yeah, there's definitely some good bulls. There's a lot of private, I think, in 13. I mean, there's public too, but
There
there's,
is.
I think, a lot of the best habitats on private in 13.
Yeah, I might have to do some door knocking or something. Maybe
Yeah,
pay a fee. I'm sure those people are waiting for that.
Yeah, me personally, I love like 10 to 14. Those are really good zones. Zone 3 is good too. I mean, there's not as many big bulls in Zone 3. I mean, you're talking, you probably kill a 350, 360-inch bull, but you don't see too many 400 inchers in Zone 3 anymore.
Now, do you know? Are you noticing like the size of the bulls are kind of plateauing out, or even in some ways going backwards, or are these bulls still getting crazy? And if they are not, like what do you think is the reason for that?
I would say they're still progressing. I think it kind of just like varies. I mean, like now, like Zone 14, you're getting some big gnarly bulls there. I mean, I think maybe it was the Kika bull was killed out there, and I think that thing scored like 446. So I mean that's a
Jesus.
monstrous bull. I mean that's absolutely ridiculous. But I mean I think they're still growing up there pretty good. I mean, I know of quite a few 400 inchers in the elk zones that are out there, but
Right.
they kind of like changes throughout the zones though. I mean, because at one time zone 3, like I was saying, had really nice 380, 390, 400 inch bowls, and I think they kind of just transitioned out of there, and they might have moved north a little bit, and they don't come back to that zone nearly as much. But I mean,
Interesting.
it definitely has been varying.
Um, that crossed my mind when we were out there, because when I first started going out there, we were in that zone 13 area, and we were getting to elk sign a lot, and even
Yeah.
seeing the elk a good amount. And then this year there was like nothing, and I was like, man, I
Mhm.
wonder if these bulls are like, or even if like the game commission, once the herd population numbers get to a certain, let's just say 100 for just to use numbers, they're like,
Yeah,
okay, they'll
yeah.
capture some of them maybe and move them to another spot in like zone 12 that might not have as many, or whatever the case may be. I don't know if, do you know if that's something that they do?
Yeah, I don't know the exacts of that. I wish I did. I wish I knew one of the
Right.
biologists or something, and I got more information on that. But I mean, I'm just going from what I've seen out there.
Right. I mean, they are elk, so they can migrate miles and miles
Yeah,
and miles.
yeah, they do. And I mean, a lot of them will actually just like roam on their own. I mean, like, okay, take for granted that a lot of them do return back to Benazet and Karthist, where the majority of the cows are at.
Uh-huh.
So like they're always going to be transitioning back to that home range for the rut. But I mean, like outside of that, I'm noticing a lot of bulls like pushing like into zone 1 areas pretty
Hmm.
far.
Interesting. I wonder if they'll ever like get past the quote unquote elk zones, and it like how does that? I wonder how that'll work for seasons. Like
Right.
if you can shoot them, I don't like that's all. And obviously, that's a question for biologists and the game commission more than anybody.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm just curious too because I know in some areas they're starting to like migrate into Potter County and getting further that way. And I was just always curious. Okay, well, what if they start pushing into like New York or something? Then what happens?
Right. Right. Yeah. Like what is that line? Like when do we start?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Are
we
they
got
going
to
to
pump the
be
brakes here.
euthanized as soon as they cross that boundary, or is New York going to accept them with open hands? Are they going to have to pay for them? Like, what's going to go down there?
Oh, imagine that. Be like, yo, New York, you owe us $150. That one elk.
Yeah.
That was our
Be
elk.
like, well, that's a trophy bowl. That's a 400-inch bowl, so that's going to be 25 grand. We
Yeah.
need it right
Yeah, that's true.
now.
Hey, have you ever thought about getting into guiding just because you spend so much time in the woods, and kind of what these bulls are doing a lot of the time?
Yeah, yeah, I've definitely considered it. I kind of helped out in the fall just with a little bit of scouting. I took some photos and stuff for a couple harvests and helped with the extraction, but I didn't actually like guide anybody. But I've
Hmm.
definitely considered it in the future. I mean, it would be a lot of fun, and I know just finding these elk sheds, people have been reaching out to me quite a bit lately. But it's kind of it's a big commitment. It's one of those things. If you jump into it, you got to be prepared. I mean, you're gonna have to use weeks of vacation to find these
Yeah.
elk, guide people on them. I mean, you're talking. You have the archery season, the general season, the late season. That's 3 weeks right there. That's all my vacation. So.
Right, and yeah, that's like a double-edged sword. Like you're making money, but it's like you want
Yeah.
that 3 weeks to hunt yourself.
You got to give up your white. You got to give up some of your whitetail hunting too. And I don't know if I'm quite ready to do that. I mean,
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. That's a
yeah,
interesting question. Like it's an interesting idea, like becoming a guide because you love hunting, but in like the realization that you lose hunting,
Mm.
you're hunting.
Yeah.
you do. Yeah, and I mean, it would be fun to watch people kill their first ever Pennsylvania elk. I mean, it'd definitely be a good experience, but I just
Yeah,
have a hard time committing all that. You know,
absolutely. Now you
committing
shot.
my season. What's that?
Right, go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
No, I was just saying that. Just taking that commitment and taken away from all the work that you do, we'll say in January, February, March, doing all your preseason scouting to kind of give that up for somebody else's hunt. It'd be kind of tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. You were fortunate enough to pull a bull tag and kill one. Now, is there like a time frame that you can't apply after that, or you can just get right back into the pool?
I got 5 years before I can start putting back in. So this would have been my first season, and then obviously this fall will be my second year of not being able to put in. But I'll have three more to go, and then I can get back into the lottery system again, which I'm excited. I mean, I hunted zone 5 and I did it myself, but it was a very tough hunt, and it wasn't a zone that I really wanted. I had which makes me sound entitled, but I put in no preference for my last option, and that's what I ended up getting. And I mean, it just, all those bulls, they never came back from Benazet from the rut, and there was maybe like 4 or 5 nice bulls in that zone at the time, and most of them were on private property. So it kind of was not my normal style of hunting. I really don't ask for a whole lot of permission, just because I'm on state forest and state game lands and stuff. But I mean, we got it done, and that's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you got like essentially a tag of a lifetime, or because you might get maybe 2 of these in your lifetime, if possible.
If you're really
you're
lucky,
knocking on doors. Yeah, if you're super lucky, you're gonna knock on every door. You're gonna try and make every connection you can.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like I said, I was a nervous wreck when I got to like Wednesday and Thursday of the hunt, because I mean, I put in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of scouting right before the hunt, where I was out every day, driving it in the mornings, spotting at night, whatever, asking, pulling all the leverage from my friends and people in the area of what they're seeing and stuff. And I got, oh, dude, we're not seeing anything. We're seeing everything in zone 2. There is hardly any bulls in zone 5. So, I mean, I had to really knock on some doors and utilize connections to try to get it done.
Now, if you would not have gotten it done, do you still have to wait the 5 years?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that does the outcome doesn't really matter. I think it's just the fact that you drew a tag and your time is up.
And that's across all 3 draws too.
Yeah, all 3 seasons. I think you can put in for a cow tag. I think you can be back. You can put back in for the cow tag. I'm not 100% sure on that, but a bull tag, you're done for 5 years.
Damn. I just want a chance.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go out and say, just because
I got that call.
Oh, you got a call.
Yeah, the game commission calls you when you draw that tag, and I mean, I couldn't believe it.
No shit.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I wouldn't have picked up because I don't pick that.
Yeah, when the game commission calls you, you don't pick up.
I don't. Who the fuck? I'm like, who the fuck is this number? I'm not picking up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we might want to start picking up the phone around that time.
Damn it!
What annoys me about that whole draw?
Too, if you don't. Well,
okay.
There was a couple people that saw the lottery system live, and they messaged me and were like, "Hey, dude, I think you won the lottery system for a bull tag." I'm like, "Yeah, good one, dude. You're really pulling my leg."
Yeah,
now,
you're
aren't you?
funny. You're funny.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome that they call you, man. Every year I'm like, oh, this is the year. But you say that every fucking year. You were about to say about what you hate about it is like they take fucking forever to announce you. And you're like, God damn it, now I have like a month to get ready.
Yeah, I wish they did it a little earlier, like now. So that way we had time, because if you draw, like, you don't have time to be like, oh shit, like I drew in zone 6, like let me scout. You have like what, 3 weeks? I think it is 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think they pushed it back a little bit earlier, but like if you're in the archery, if you're in the archery season and you drew a tag, it's not very long. I mean, I think it used to be the end of July, so I mean, you literally had like a month or 5 weeks to like really get after it and figure it out. And like another thing that makes it tough too is, okay, well, you're hunting the rut, so you got to know where all the cows are at, and where you saw a bull in, we'll say August, they might not be there come mid-September.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you apply for the archery tag too, or is it just rifle did you apply for?
I did, yeah. I actually would, the archery hunt would be an amazing hunt, just with those bulls being so vocal and bugle in. That was my main thing that I wanted to put in for, but I ended up getting the general season in that late October time frame.
Yeah.
It's if can you use archery in rifle for elk, or it has to be rifle because it's,
I don't know.
I think
because
use
you can
your
hunt
bow
whitetail,
too.
Yeah.
Any
I
lesser
think that's
weapon,
pretty
probably.
much.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much the same. If you want to use your bow, you can. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on it, but I'm pretty sure that you can have that option. I mean, what's that?
I would have used a rifle too.
100%. 100%.
I would have been like, fight.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like archery season, you have 2 weeks, so it makes more sense. Like, oh, okay, I got 2 weeks to get it done. Well, that general season, you have five days or 6 days to get it done. You got Monday to Saturday. So if you don't get something within range, I mean, it's a pretty good time crunch.
Yeah.
I bet, were you in the woods the whole day, or you were like, oh, it's 12, let me just go get lunch and then come back? Because I would have been in the woods like nonstop.
Yeah, I was in the woods till about noon, and then I would go get lunch, refuel a little bit, and then I'd head back out for the evening and stuff. And I mean, I wish I had like the knowledge that I do now, though, because when I did that, I mean, it was only two seasons ago. I mean, I've learned so much more about elk, where they're at, where they run at. I mean, the last 2 years I've made a pretty drastic improvement of like my knowledge of the elk zones too, and where the bulls are at.
Yeah.
Well, one of these days is gonna be our turn, Dan, and we're gonna have to fucking take John for a fucking dinner at a fancy ass restaurant, get him drunk as hell, and they'll be like, "Hey, let me see your Onyx for a second."
Okay, I agree with you.
Had
But my
people
first
say
question
that, I'll
is
give you
where is there
$500
anywhere fancy to eat over there?
I'll give you $500 for your Onyx pins for
$500
per pin.
Yeah,
that's like a week of gas for you, man.
Well, I'm like, no, that's not worth it. I put too much time into that.
Yeah.
The pins.
God damn.
Damn it, bro.
Yeah, but no, seriously, if you guys do draw, I mean, let me know. I mean, I would, especially if it's a zone I'm familiar with. I mean, I could definitely lend a hand in some way.
Don't worry, but you if you drink, we'll get you alcohol. We'll get you food.
We have a T-shirt. We'll give you a T-shirt.
I will give you a $5 T-shirt.
I'll take one of those hoodies. Those Craving Wild black hoodies. They're pretty sick looking.
Like what he has on, or what I have
on?
on
Your Instagram. It's the black one.
Yeah, the black one. We got a whole bunch of new stuff coming out. We're running a little behind.
Yeah, we're waiting for the right moment.
Yeah,
sort of. Right moment. You're biding your time.
Yeah. That's it.
Good stuff.
Yeah. There's no rush on it, so
nah.
It's like applying for the elk. I'm not rushing into anything. I can't do anything about it.
I have a very sneaky, weird feeling that I'm going to draw it this year because I'm drawing Iowa.
Shut the fuck up. You said the same shit every year.
No, because I'm drawing Iowa, though. If I draw Iowa, I will bet you that I'll probably draw.
What are you going to do?
Apply for unemployment.
Yeah. You can't. You gotta get fired.
Well, I'll make sure I can figure something out.
How many points you have in Iowa?
6.
6. Oh, you should be. I mean,
yeah, I should draw. Yeah. I'm going for. I think is it zone 5, zone 6. We have another buddy actually who we just recorded with yesterday that has the same amount of points. So we're trying to set up we'll go out there together for 2 weeks. Last week of October, first week of November. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, that's
pretty pumped.
You're gonna be spoiled for a while.
Yeah. Could you imagine drawing Iowa and a Pennsylvania bull tag in 1 year? Killing like a 170 because they're
we'll hang it up after that.
Oh, I will. I'll take up fly fishing.
Yeah.
That's it. After that, what do you do?
I don't know. Doll
sheep. The best of the best.
Backcountry squirrel hunting.
Backcountry squirrel.
Do you do any like other kind of hunting, like waterfowl or anything like that?
I'm mostly like a whitetail. I like to bear hunt stuff and pretty much.
Oh no shit.
Deer consumed me. So
Yeah, I mean, you live in the perfect place for that.
right, yeah, definitely. I mean, I
I
guess
was
I'll do
telling
some
like,
spring turkey hunting.
okay, yeah, you guys got some good birds out there, man.
Yeah, they're like I said, a year like this year with no really harsh winter. I mean, I feel like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the turkeys did make it. The predators didn't get them nearly as much, so I'm thinking it's going to be a good year. The only thing I'm a little worried about is I've been seeing a lot of strutting and the gobblers getting frisky early, so I'm hoping that doesn't die out.
Right, right. It's funny you say that because I came around the bend and there was a a turkey in full strut, and I was like, oh shit, like it's
Yeah,
early, like real
yeah,
early.
yeah. Yeah, it was almost 2 weeks ago. It was like a blizzard out. It was a little bit of freezing rain and snow, and I came up through this bottom and I look and I'm like, what is that? And there's this freaking big gobbler just all strutted out with a couple hens nearby him. I'm like, dude, come on! It's like literally mid March.
Yeah, chill out, bro. Jeez,
Yeah, like
that's
I know it's
funny.
been nice the last couple days, but today it isn't.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Hey, do you have any like plans on what you're gonna do with your shed, like your elk sheds? Are you gonna build anything, like display them any certain way? Like, is there any idea behind any of that?
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I'm looking into buying a house within probably the next year or two. Just obviously, kind of like decorating my man cave with that. At some point, I would like to make like a chandelier out of them, and maybe like a they'll do those shed Christmas trees where you just stack them all up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But
cool.
like, and I might
I
get
need
some of
300
those.
more.
I'd like to mount some of the matching set, like the big matching elk sets too. I'd like to, have a couple of those on display and just kind of, you know, have them on tables and just nothing crazy. I'm not gonna turn
Right,
them all into knives or anything, but just I like having them around.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it just
was it? Is it Rack? What is the name of that
rack
company?
hub.
Yeah, Rack Hub.
Yeah, that's rack hub.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
that's what I'm
sweet.
talking about.
They you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
drill the bottom of the antler and slide it on, dude. They're awesome.
yeah. That's somebody sent me the link for those a couple days ago. I was gonna check those out.
Yeah, they're a little pricey, but they look
Okay.
very clean. I have a ton of them. They hold very good. The sheds are awesome. You can like move them around. They're on like it's on like a
Oh, nice.
ball. Yeah, they're
Okay.
really cool. They hold really well. I like them a lot. Um, I was thinking about getting one for my lone my
The lone
lone
shot.
soldier there. Man, what about fishing? Anything else, or you just? I mean, you don't really have time, and you're probably burnt out by
I mean,
time trout
I
season.
do enjoy fishing. I do quite a bit of fishing, like May June time frame. I do a little bit of rattlesnake hunting too.
Oh shit, yeah, we talked about that. Okay, so for the listeners that don't know, this is the second time we've recorded with John, and we had an absolute terrible issue the last time. The computer did stupid things. And we've been trying to get him on for a long time, but I think we talked about this on the last time we
Yeah.
recorded. I forgot about this doing the rattlesnake stuff because that is something that and Antonio too, like we want to do that really bad.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, but
It's
you
fucking
get a rush when
sketchy, is
you
what it
find a
is.
bunch of. It is, yeah, it's kind of sketchy. I mean, obviously, you want to be very careful and safe when you're out there, but I mean, it's a lot of fun too, and it kind of breaks up that June to September time frame too, or August is when the season closes, but it's definitely it's fun.
Yeah, one of the guests that we had, a friend of ours, Mike from Wilderness. He wants to do it too. He's a biologist, and he
Okay.
was like, "Oh, we're gonna do it. We're definitely gonna do it." He's getting me pumped every time we talked about it. And I was like, "Well, now," and I'm like, well, "I gotta call fucking John now." I'll be like, "Hey, John, can you help me out here? Where the fuck do I?" Because my problem is not
Yeah.
looking for them. My problem is the handling. That's the main. Well, I'm guessing that's the main issue for anybody that's never done it like me.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh
you're like,
yeah,
well, I
yeah.
gotta hold a rattlesnake and put it on a tube and then
For
measure
what
it. I
too?
don't know
For what
about all
purpose?
that. on purpose. I don't know about all this.
Yeah.
And then if it
Yeah,
doesn't,
it's like,
if it's not long enough, I gotta let it go again. Pissed off.
yeah, yeah,
I
it's
don't
like,
know.
what do I gain by putting this thing in a tube and holding it? Pretty much nothing.
A bite is what I gain.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Do
yeah.
you have the snake bite gaiters? Do you wear those or? Because everybody sounds.
I have just a pair of snake boots.
Okay.
We gotta invest. I'm gonna wear flip flops.
Nah,
What's
I'd be
those like
careful there.
$800 flip flops? Toe hold?
What's,
Is that what they're
what's-
called?
Sure.
That was a
What's,
joke. I'm not gonna
really
wear flip
nice-
flops.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably not a good idea, but what's really nice too is for me, like a lot of areas that I look for elk sheds, they have rattlesnakes, so pretty good concentration. So in the summertime, I'll go set some cameras for for bulls and start looking at the wallows and stuff, and I can look for snakes as I'm doing that, or even when I'm setting cameras for deer, take my tongs, take my snake boots, and go for a little bit of a hike and kind of kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Right. That's something I never. Is that just constantly in the back of your head when you're in these areas where the rattlesnakes are pretty prominent, or like do you like forget about them and then you see one, you're like, oh shit, like there's rattlesnakes around here. Like
No,
I feel like that.
yeah,
I would like. Go ahead.
I'm always looking for them because, like I said, one wrong step, I mean, and you're gonna be in trouble.
Right. That would annoy the shit out of me because I like to just go, and I feel like that would slow me down so much.
We've hunted here. Well, I've hunted here almost 10. Well, not 10. I'm gonna say 8 years, 9 years, and I've yet to see one rattlesnake in the woods.
Really?
Where we are. Yeah. We
Nope.
don't. Not even close.
There's like one spot that's got like known for it, so like nobody goes there.
Nobody goes there. Yeah, it might be a good spot
Yeah.
to check out.
It could be. It could be. It's real. It's like a boulder field though. Like there's.
Okay.
It's not really good for deer. But rattlesnakes.
Damn. Hell yeah.
That's
Killer.
yeah. That's where we're gonna go.
We
Like
know-
locally anyway.
We know one rattlesnake spot when we go out west. Oh, Central PA.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we do. We got
One,
hell
just
of a spot.
one. I see them every time I go.
Okay, yeah, that's probably a pretty good spot. It's probably a den or something somewhere. But like I said, I mean that's one thing I like about spending all this time in elk range. Yesterday, I found a really nice 6-side, and before I found that, I was on this like south facing side, and it was freaking loaded with boulders and rocks everywhere, and it opened up to be like perfect snake habitat, like southeast facing. So when the sun comes up in the morning, it warms them in their in their dens and stuff. So I'm gonna check that back out probably in June and see if my suspicions are true. See if there's any
Cool.
rattlesnakes, and then, like I said, start getting some cameras out and whatnot.
Yeah, hell yeah. How many cameras do you run?
It's been growing every single year. I think I got about 70 of them. But
Holy shit.
yeah, it's bad. I mean, and well, here's the thing too. Okay, so last year I think I ran like 7 or 8 cameras on elk wallows just for footage, just stuff I could put on YouTube and just to see what kind of bulls are in the area. Well, now I have like over 20 pins of elk wallows this year. So I'd like to try to get one on every single one of them, and it's only growing. So I mean, I'm gonna have to pick up probably another 10 or 15 cameras this year and get ready to grind it out.
Next time we have you on, you'll be at 100.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
true.
have some good footage this year, though. I mean, I'm excited for it. I mean, I'll have a couple YouTube videos of me setting them up in the elk wallows and discovering them, and then like showing viewers what actually shows up in the elk wallow. And like I said, those bulls do some pretty neat stuff to where they're like rubbing their antlers and throwing mud all over the place, and peeing all over themselves, getting all rutted up, and it's cool footage. I mean, and it tells me what elk is in the area that I can try to pick up sheds off of later, or try to get some like good photos and videos of.
That is cool. Do you is your YouTube live right now?
It is live. I'm kind of slowly getting into it. I mean, it's mostly just stuff thrown together. There's not a whole lot of editing on it yet, and like I said, with all the stuff I've been doing, it's been getting so hard to sit down and like really put stuff together.
Yeah.
So after I wrap up shed season, the May and June, I'm gonna really break down, and get a good editor, and try to put the stuff together, and make it more friendly for the audience. But right now, it's just kind of bare bones, we'll say.
What is your YouTube handle?
Oh, it is Outdoor Fit.
Outdoor Fit, just Outdoor Fit.
Outdoor Fit. And
Okay.
like I said, it's kind of a YouTube channel that just covers. It's going to be a little bit of fitness. It's going to be a lot of outdoor stuff. It's going to be a lot of like the elk rut, elk photography, elk wallows, and then it's going to get into like archery hunting, self-filming all my stuff, rattlesnake hunting. It's going to be just a little bit of everything, and I'm going to really start pushing the photography on it though, of bulls bugling and elk fighting. It's just content like that.
Hell yeah, man! Absolute. That's awesome, and I hope it really takes off for you and does well.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
We'll tag it, for sure on the when this episode goes out. We'll tag it.
awesome. I appreciate that.
Absolutely,
Yeah, it was awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All my elk shed hunting videos will be put on there too. I'm right in the process of finishing the first one of me finding that 380-inch matching set, and then the rest of them.
That's cool. What kind of camera do you use when you're doing these like the videos?
Yeah, so right now I actually I have a Lumix GH6 right here, and I usually
Okay.
I have my wildlife lens on there, my big zoom on it right now, but obviously I for YouTube and stuff you're 25 millimeters, but I'm actually going to be upgrading everything here very very soon, and getting into a bunch of Canon lenses, and probably like the Canon
Uh-oh.
R5.
Uh-oh,
So
you got the bug. You got bit by the bug.
Yeah, I did. We're gonna. I mean, I love photography anymore. It's definitely one of my favorite things too. So we're going big though. We're gonna invest in a bunch of really nice equipment and take it from there.
Hell yeah, dude. We'll be on the lookout for it. I mean, we're always watching it, seeing what you're finding, where you're at, seeing if we can pick up any cues. You're very good at hiding everything, so
Yeah.
I will say that.
Dude,
That's
I
why I
have
don't.
to be. That's the bad part. Like, I would love to share everything that I do, but
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys would just like to learn from it. But I know there's always going to be those few that are literally just using me for information and stuff.
Oh, 100%.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It just
Yeah.
you gotta be careful if you think about how much work you put into something, and then to have somebody derail it, or you're setting
hmm
yourself up for failure essentially. So
Oh yeah. It's just like I don't know if you do any mushroom hunting. Like you're not really supposed to tell anybody about your mushroom
right,
spots because they're gone. And this
yeah,
guy.
exactly.
Shut the fuck
I'm
up.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Shut
Yeah,
the
no,
fuck
dude,
up.
you put in a ton of work. You put in so much work, and you texted me like what last 35 days or something like that. You've been in the woods looking for these elk
Yeah,
sheds.
oh yeah, every
That's
single day
crazy.
too. I mean, like I said, some days it's only 2 or 3 hours, other days it's 4 or 5. But I mean, like you're
Mm.
talking every single day consistently, and very few breaks.
And it's not like it's 20. Like some of these roads, man, you can be on them for hours.
Oh yeah. It's definitely a rough game too. I said like after 10, 15 days of looking for these sheds, you're mental. You're just like, dude, I never feel like I'm gonna find anything, or like you have to really stay positive in it, because if you don't,
It'll eat you up.
it sabotages you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you started off pretty hot, so I'm sure that took some pressure off of you
It did,
finding good
yeah.
sheds quick.
Yeah, so every year I set that goal for one nice matching set, and that's it. I mean, if I find one nice matching elk set, I'm happy with that, because I know how the game can go. It can go
hmm
really good, it can go really bad depending on pressure and stuff. And some of these elk like to hang out on private property that you can't get permission to, and sometimes public land doesn't have any food. That makes it tough. But like I said, one
Yeah.
matching set has kind of been my goal, and we've been hitting it. So.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, I don't want to hold you on here any longer. It's getting pretty late here. Before we get going, do you want to just tell the people like where to find you on? You just said your YouTube, but any other social media platforms that you want to plug?
Yeah, yeah. You guys can follow me along at John Pro 28 on Instagram or Outdoor Fit on YouTube. Those are my main two social media handlers.
Hell yeah, dude! And like I said, we'll tag them when this episode goes out, which will be pretty soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Antonio, you got anything? To
No,
add?
just jealous, man. I'm jealous of your.
I just I want to show you guys a couple of sheds real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, bring it on.
Take one
So
second.
you made me remember. The more shit you show me, the later I'm gonna start following you again, bro. I don't
Keep
follow
that in
you
mind.
until the end of fucking May, bro.
All right.
And then I'll fucking unfollow you again in January.
Jeez.
All right. I'm just gonna do.
Look at that! Holy shit!
Oh,
Is that
that's all this year?
Yeah.
no?
Oh my God.
shit.
It's blurry as shit for us, but we could tell that's awesome. That's
Okay.
If you wanted to sell those shits, how much you think you get per shit? 300, 400 bucks?
Well, that matching set that I found was probably, I don't know, probably $1,500 worth.
No
right
shit.
there. Some of the other sets are probably like $700-800. The singles probably 700. I mean, just because they're 370, 380 inch bowls, they're not like
Yeah.
your common 320s or 330s. So
See what I mean? Not until May, bro. I'm done with you.
that's hilarious.
it's not over. It's not over. I'm gonna try to pull out a couple more, but I can't.
Good,
make
man.
any
Good.
promises.
I'm happy. I'm happy that you have the time to do it. You know, I'm happy that you live there and you can get to do a dream that 80% of hunters
Right.
can't even do.
Yeah, I'm glad you take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah,
you
because
have.
there's a lot of people
Yeah.
that live there that don't do that, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
never even
man,
go out. I
if
mean, I
you
definitely feel-
fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely feel blessed to be able to do it, and
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, I do have a pretty hectic work schedule too. I mean, I usually work 6 days a week. I stay over some days, so pretty much you get to this time of the year, I'm kind of sleep deprived. But I mean, like I
you're
said,
you're still young, man. You still can do it. until-
like next year, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save like 5 days vacation, and I'm gonna take off 9 days, and I'm just gonna literally live out there for those 9 days.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Take a little tent, bro. Do it like a little backcountry shit
Yeah,
hunting.
yeah. So make sure you're following along next year too.
We'll be with you.
You gotta say when, because you have a window where I'm not even seeing anything from you, bro.
What a guy.
Yeah, right. This guy is, unbelievable. This is what I got to deal with on a daily basis, John.
Man, when you're
Feel
too
bad.
good at something, man, I get
People hate you. Yeah.
I don't hate. It's not hate. It's not hate.
Oh,
Don't
so-
get it confused. Don't get it confused
I'm
yet.
sure.
Okay.
I'm sure.
It's just
I'm sure some people. Right.
I'm just a little. It's a bittersweet thing, dude. And I'm talking to
Yeah, I
you,
know.
and I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like super pumped every time Dan sends me a shit from you. I'm like, God damn it, this kid. God damn it. And then here I am finding fucking 2 inches of bone. Dude, the other day, the beginning of the season, so when I started shit hunting, my first season, I got 23 whitetail shits. And I was like,
that's
oh,
good
bro, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Every year after that, it's 5, 4, and I'm walking, 200-300 miles
Oh,
every
geez.
fucking season, and I'm walking, and every time I go out, it's 8 miles, and I have a kid, and then I have to be like, well, I'm like coordinating with my wife. It's like, can you take her from like this hour, so I can just climb this fucking steep mountain to see if there's one shit there that I can be happy about, and then I hike it, and then I don't see anything, and then
There's
and
some
then
shit up there.
and then there's no shit. There's nothing, right? And then here comes John. I just found 380s. Like, God damn it, John. I'm happy for you, man. I'm not hating at all.
No, I got you. I mean,
Shit
I
hunting
never
is
thought
so
of it.
hard. Shit
is
hunting
tough,
is
yeah.
and it's frustrating.
It can be, yeah. I mean,
So
I never really thought of it like that either. I mean, I'm sure like people are probably like they see me pick up like that first set, like, oh yeah, congrats, dude. Way to get after it. But then after like 6 or 7, it's just like, okay, dude, enough.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, when Dan found you on Instagram, or I don't know how. I'm guessing you found him.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, wherever
Yeah,
is it? Feet,
Only
only feet.
antlers.
Yeah,
Only antlers.
onlyantlers.com. He showed it to me. I was like, man, that's fucking awesome, man. Like, I've been there and I haven't found one. And then you kept posting shit, and I'm like, dude, this guy has to be photoshopping this shit. These are shit from other people. He's like, just let me borrow it for a second and just make an Instagram post, but it's not, And then I'm like, God damn it.
No. I've never staged anything like that.
That's
I've never,
listen,
tried to pull
that's
off
just
anything that I didn't find.
That's just me being a bitter asshole. That's all. A jealous, bitter asshole. That's all.
There are
that's
people
all
that
it
do
is.
that, though. I know.
Oh,
for sure.
100%. Listen, I worked in this industry for way too long, and I understand how the hunting industry is. And so every time something like that happens, I'm like, well, let me play detective here for a little bit, for a few months before
What I like about it is it's hard for me to do that because, okay, I just showed you the picture of this matching set of this bull in the Wallow this year. The timestamp's 2023. This is a bull that I have 3 years of sheds off of. So I have videos of him in 2023. It's like, okay, well, it's kind of hard to make something like that up if you have the history.
No, you do.
No, it's easy for you to be legit because you're legit. It's not. You're not hiding anything.
I'm just
Yeah,
jealous. That's all, man.
It's
a good type of jealousy.
Oh, I'm sure you hear all sorts of shit like, "Oh, you got private land" or something stupid. I'm sure you hear it all. Yeah. It's just people being.
I'll get some people being like, "Oh, he's shed hunting in like an elk farm or
an elk farm."
Yeah, because there's one down the road.
those are tame
where
elk.
are elk farms? In New Zealand,
I don't even know of any.
I know New Zealand has them because if you get elk from a restaurant, it's from New Zealand. So
okay.
I don't know, man. You just keep doing you.
I just keep on following you, and then just following you again, and then unfollowing you, and then that's just my life, bro.
I like to live vicariously through your Instagram.
Yeah, we do, bro. We get pumped. We get like, fuck.
Good.
It keeps me and Dan being like, oh, let's go this year.
It keeps us in check. Yeah.
Let's do this.
I mean, like I said, like I'm not really anything special. I mean, if I can make it happen, so can you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I've been doing it for a long time, and I do put a lot of effort into it, and that's why.
Well, it shows, man. It shows.
It definitely shows.
It
cool,
shows.
brother. Well.
Yes.
I appreciate your time. I appreciate the fact that, fingers crossed, nothing is going to happen here in the next couple seconds to ruin this.
I hope so, dude.
Finally got an episode out with you. We've been trying to do this for 2 years.
I think we deserve to do one with him, one a week.
One a week?
Yeah, just
yeah, the
just in case we lose him again in 8 months, we're like, no, we have one.
The Prokop Confidentials.
That's fucking great, dude. We just have him come in for 10 minutes and just say something. In order to find elk sheds, you need to walk, boy, and then just cut it.
You got to go deep.
Just go deep for antlers. That's all it is.
You should come
Dude,
up
that's
with
a shirt. That's a good shirt right there.
Go deep for antlers. Yeah. I do. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, buddy. Hey, I once again appreciate your time as always. Obviously, we'll be reaching out to you throughout the season, seeing how you're doing.